According to Asana's work index, workers spend nearly 60% of their time on work about work. That means finding files, updating status, switching tools. That's the real problem. And for distributed teams, that chaos scales fast. The fix? Welcome back to the Future of Work Weekly Report, where we break down the biggest workplace narratives and expose the ones that just don't add up. This week, we're not talking about ping pong tables, badge swipes, or who loves the office more. We're talking about the thing that actually makes or breaks remote and hybrid teams: centralization. Because it turns out it's not location that's hurting productivity. It's scattered information, unclear systems, and leadership models that haven't evolved past 2013. Would you use Windows 95 today? Depends on who you are. But let's be real. Most distributed teams aren't struggling because of remote work. They're struggling because they're spread across Slack, email, Notion, Asana, Google Drive, Trello, Confluence, and 14 other tools. And nobody knows where anything lives. According to Asana's work index, workers spend nearly 60% of their time on work about work. That means finding files, updating status, switching tools. That's the real problem. And for distributed teams, that chaos scales fast. The fix? It's not forcing everybody back to the office. It's centralization, making communication, knowledge, and priorities visible in one place. And here's where it gets deeper. Scattered systems don't just hurt efficiency, they break trust. In a recent Forbes Tech Council piece, Ramiro Gonzalez Forcada put it bluntly: technology isn't just about streamlining workflows. It's how we build connection and accountability in distributed teams. When information is centralized, trust doesn't rely solely on FaceTime. When decisions and documents are visible, people stop feeling left out. And when systems prioritize transparency, leaders stop defaulting to micromanagement. In short, centralization isn't just an IT solution, it's a culture solution. Now, there's this myth that you have to be in the room to be trusted, promoted, or mentored. But here's the truth: proximity is not a performance strategy. Gallup found that companies with strong hybrid structures, not mandates, saw 21% higher profitability and 41% lower absenteeism. So what's actually driving that? Clear communication, defined outcomes, consistent access to knowledge. And none of that requires a desk in Midtown. Trust doesn't scale unless leadership evolves. That means moving from command and control to coach and support. It means understanding that Gen Z, millennials, and let's be honest, most of us aren't looking for micromanagement. We're looking for systems that help us succeed. The Forbes article also nails this: remote presenteeism is real. But that's not solved by more Zoom calls. It's solved by measuring performance based on results, not who's seen. The best distributed leaders build visibility in the systems, not the calendar. Let's paint the picture here. A place where all important updates live, not lost in Slack threads. A space where employees can self-serve the info they need to do their jobs. a system that gives leadership visibility into progress without the need of micromanaging, and a culture that operates on clarity, outcomes, and shared purpose. That's not a fantasy. That's centralization done right. And it's what every distributed team needs to make remote work sustainable. So the next time someone says remote work doesn't work, ask them this. Do your teams have a centralized system that actually supports them? Or are they playing whack-a-mole across Slack, Google Drive, Asana, Monday boards, you name it? Because remote work isn't broken. Fragmentation is. And fixing it starts with leadership, systems, and a better definition of trust. Now, I'll be honest. This Future of Work weekly report is self-serving to Grapevine, but it doesn't avoid the fact that this is a true problem. And the reason that I came up with the idea of Grapevine was because as strategy staff executive and director of sales operations and sales engineering, I constantly found myself as an operator finding all the information for our team to be successful. And what that actually looked like in practice was, for a real example, the RSM guideline to winning was what we called our go-to-market Bible, so to speak. So anybody that onboarded as a salesperson in the organization used this to get ramped up. And we were able to decrease the amount of ramp time from 6 months to 3 months in an enterprise sales. That's pretty important. And the way that I did this was I knew what I needed to put together. I knew that in many cases we had that information, but I had to go exploring for it. And so for me as the operator, my goal is to make everybody else's job easier to do. So I would collect information over here from SharePoint. I would collect details from this person. I would collect more information in OneDrive or Salesforce or Outreach, you name it. And then we had our own tool, Kumu, which was an enterprise video platform. So I would collect videos from there. And I started organizing all this into one full-length document. It's probably about 20, 30 pages. And what happened here is we had this specific spot that we could go to. But the issue was, even though I consolidated all of this and shared it out and announced it in Slack several times, teams kept coming to me and saying, hey, Zach, can you share that document with me again? Hey, Zach, what is the process for XYZ? Hey, Zach, can you Can you share that video? And so what I started doing on my own was organizing the materials that I could reuse. So I didn't have to spend so much time myself answering these questions. And that's really where Grapevine came to life, is how can we provide one space that can take all this information from all these different places and centralize them where people could self-serve instead of asking somebody where that document is, or what is that process again, or XYZ. And not only that, how can we make it where we can share that information in a better place than Slack? Slack is great for quick communications, but it's not great at all for knowledge management or storage. And so we wanted to create this place that you could create and manage the knowledge and information that you piece together for the teams to be able to have easy access in a simplified manner, but then also share it in a way that allows them to get the update and then to save it so they can find it later. And that's what we've created with Grapevine, right? So it's this combination of company-wide important updates in the same place that knowledge management happens. So whenever you take the time to create this information, store it, and then share it, you're not having those constant questions. Hey, can you show me that again? Or hey, can you share that? And think about this from a new hire onboarding process. You don't have to repeat yourself. Here is the onboarding space that you need to do this. And then in that same space, you can say, these are the people to contact if you have questions. And you don't have to go outside to contact those people because those people are in Grapevine. That's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to replace your tools necessarily, but we're trying to give you a place to house the most important things in your organization. So remote and distributed teams don't have to go searching 10 hours a day or 10 hours a week just to find what it is that they're looking for. And we bring into the option, or we bring into the concept of different time zones. Now, the team that was in UK that I was managing, or the team in Pakistan now, they don't have to wait on me to find the information. They go into Grapevine and they find it. Think about this from an operations perspective. This is game changing. And so I know that this is self-serving, but it doesn't stop the fact that it's so important where companies, especially remote and distributed teams, need to find a way to centralize the information that is so important, where you can start working on work and not searching for work. Thanks so much for watching this episode, and we'll see you on the next one.